Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a close look at a topic that's just vital, really, for anyone in sectors like oil and gas, heavy industry, utilities, manufacturing,
Absolutely.
industrial safety, and supply chain efficiency.
hmm
I mean, if you're out there trying to keep things compliant, safe, and running smoothly, you know it's a constant juggling act, right? High stakes.
It really is. And that's why this deep dive I think is so important. We want to kind of shift how you think about something seemingly basic like industrial supplies.
Right. Not just stuff you order.
Exactly. It's not just procurement. It's about turning these items into, well, a real strategic advantage, driving operational excellence.
Okay.
So our mission here is to pull out the key insights from the sources we've looked at, insights that could really redefine how you approach supplies and ultimately boost your operations. And we're focusing on a specific player the sources kept highlighting.
So think about this. What happens when you get those top-tier safety solutions, like from 3M, delivered exactly how and when you need them, empowering leaders like you?
Mm.
How does knowing, where to go for these supplies actually turn those procurement headaches into something smooth, efficient?
That's the core question.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Our sources, they really point quite directly to peenergy.com. They see it as this vital link for getting 3M products out there.
Yeah.
And when they talk about 3M, I mean, the research calls it a brand synonymous with innovation and efficiency, even the gold standard for industrial supply.
Strong words.
Very. But what really jumped out at me from the material was this constant emphasis on certainty.
Yep.
When you're responsible for a site for people's safety, there's just no space for maybe.
Exactly. That's a huge takeaway. The sources frame it as moving beyond compliance. It's about actively working to mitigate risk.
Okay.
They stress that 3M gear isn't just about meeting standards. It's designed to elevate them, making sure, as one source put it, each shift concludes with the same number of fingers and toes it began with.
Wow, that paints a picture.
It does. It's about building safety right into the operation, fundamentally.
So we've set the stage, the high stakes. But let's get a bit more granular. What kinds of advanced protection are we actually talking about? The stuff that makes a real difference day to day.
Right.
Our sources mentioned some really cutting-edge designs, starting with safety eyewear, for example. They talk about glasses with advanced optics, unique functionality, really built for rugged durability.
Yeah, gear that actually holds up.
Exactly, not just checking a box. And then respiratory protection. This is where the sources got really specific and, frankly, quite interesting.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Some key innovations highlighted there.
Totally. Like, take the 3M Era 2091 P100 filter. The sources highlight this jaw-dropping 99.97% filtration rate.
Almost perfect.
Right. That's serious protection against oil and non-oil particulates. And it's versatile, too. Works in both negative and positive pressure environments.
Which is great for simplifying inventory, right?
Exactly. Plus, they note its long life, which means lower costs, less changing.
Makes sense.
Then there's the 3ML 6001i series, Organic Vapor Service Life Indicator cartridges. Now, this is clever.
Uh-huh. The indicator window.
Yeah, that unique end-of-service life window. It basically, as the sources say, takes human error out of the equation. You can see when it needs changing.
Which is huge for compliance, like bulletproof compliance, I think they called it. No guesswork.
Right. And, of course, they mentioned the familiar 3M N95 disposable respirator. Widely used, especially noted for healthcare settings, meeting those strict CDC standards.
Shows the breadth of their application.
Definitely. And for the really extreme situations.
The CBRN canister.
Exactly. The chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear APR canister designed for high-stakes environments, first responder applications, for mission-critical use when, the stakes go nuclear.
Serious protection for serious situations.
No kidding.
So this all leads to a really important question, I think. Beyond how good the individual products are, how does a supplier, like peenergy.com in this case, become truly indispensable?
Right, more than just a vendor.
Yeah. And our sources point to several strategic benefits for the people actually buying this stuff, the procurement professionals. Things that go way beyond just clicking add to cart.
Like what?
Well, first off, streamlined procurement. The idea of one-stop shopping.
Okay.
The sources talk about consolidating all your industrial supply needs into one streamlined operation, getting this vast array of 3M products all on a single user-friendly platform.
So one click, countless solutions. It sounds efficient.
That's the phrase they used. Yeah, it really simplifies things.
And it's not just about making it easy, is it? The sources really hammer home the durability and reliability aspect.
Absolutely critical. These aren't just standard items. They're crafted to exceed industry standards, meet unique tactical requirements. The sources state flat out, compromise isn't in our vocabulary.
Okay, strong stance. And that quality commitment, it must link to cost savings, right? Real savings, not just cheap upfront prices.
That's exactly the argument. Real cost savings, not false economies. The sources make a really strong case that, well, cut-rate gear costs you more in the long run.
How so?
Well, think about it. Investing in quality means a longer product lifespan, right? So, less frequent ordering.
Makes sense.
It means fewer equipment failures. And maybe most importantly, lower incident-accident rates. Fewer accidents mean fewer work stop orders.
Ah, okay, so it protects the budget and the company's reputation. You're not gambling.
Precisely. You're investing in continuity.
And the sources also mentioned the sheer versatility of the 3M range.
Oh, definitely. It covers everything from electronics assembly to CBRN defense. It really drives home that it's not just PPE, personal protective equipment. It's a whole suite of solutions.
Right.
And then there's the supply chain aspect. Inventory consistency and nationwide fulfillment. That's huge for anyone who's ever hit that out-of-stock wall.
Go tell me about it. Derails everything.
Yeah. So the sources emphasize PE Energy having this wholesale muscle, giving you direct, reliable access to deep inventory, even if you need stuff for large deployments or remote project sites.
So getting what you need reliably, that's key.
Consistently, yeah.
Okay, so it's really clear this goes way beyond just buying and selling. The sources are positioning peenergy.com as more of a strategic partner. Is that the term they used?
That's exactly it. A strategic partner on this whole industrial journey.
Yeah.
Not just a supplier dropping boxes.
So what makes them stand out? And what the sources call the industrial supply jungle? What are the differentiators?
Good question. Several key things came up. First, and maybe most importantly, genuine, traceable 3M stock.
Ah, so no fakes or dodgy resellers.
Exactly. No gray market fakes, no resold junk. It's straight from 3M, comes with full support and documentation. That's massive peace of mind.
I can imagine,
Yeah.
especially with safety gear.
For sure. Then there's bulk and recurring order support. They can handle scale, whether you're outfitting 10 or 10,000 workers. Flexible minimum order quantities, bulk discounts. It shows they can support growth and ongoing needs, builds that partnership feel.
Right, not just one-off orders. And what about advice? Support.
Big point. Expert industrial consultation. The sources are clear. These aren't robotic order takers. They're described as seasoned industrial pros.
Okay.
People dedicated to helping with your project's compliance, its efficiency. They're available to actually guide you in selecting the right 3M products. That's real added value.
That kind of expertise is hard to find.
It is. And then the practical stuff has to be right, too, like rapid shipping, nationwide.
Crucial.
Yep. Fast delivery, typically within a few business days. Getting products where they need to be on time, every time. That's the promise.
Have other support.
Yeah, comprehensive support and services, things like product installation, even training services, prompt customer service if issues arise, detailed specs, technical sheets. They even mention help with custom industrial solutions.
Wow, quite a full package.
It seems so. And one last point the sources noted, which is increasingly important. Environmental responsibility.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, apparently, many 3M products adhere to environmental sustainability practices designed to minimize waste and energy consumption. So that's another factor for consideration.
Good to know. Okay, so we've really dug deep here. It seems these critical industrial supplies, specifically thinking about 3M products from peenergy.com, they're way more than just things on a list.
Absolutely.
It's like a whole strategy, isn't it? For
Yeah.
safety, efficiency, managing costs, especially in these really tough environments.
Yeah, and if you connect it back to that bigger picture,
Yeah.
the sources suggest, pretty powerfully, I think, that in a world where every second spent out of compliance or facing equipment malfunctions results in financial hemorrhage, then these kinds of reliable solutions, they stand as sentinels, basically. They're protecting your bottom line by preventing those costly problems before they happen.
Right. Proactive protection. So, okay, for you listening, maybe consider this. If the real cost of running your operation isn't just what you pay up front for supplies, but it includes the potential cost of downtime, terrible incident, non-compliance fines, how much is certainty actually worth? You know, the certainty that comes from proven, reliable safety gear.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. How could rethinking your supply chain, specifically for these critical safety items,
Yeah.
fundamentally change your company's resilience, its future success? Something to think about.